Hey, hello everybody, welcome back. All right, today we are going to check out the Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham in 1/64 scale. And as you can see, once again, just like those Lincolns I showed you a little while ago, I've got multiple versions of this and I want to show them off to you guys. All right, so we're going to start with this Yatming version, which is finished in a gorgeous burgundy over burgundy color combination. That's actually really neat. So this is another car from my youth, late 70s Yatming casting, sold under the Road Champs brand. And it's, just one of my personal favorites. I mean, this was like one of the biggest American cars that we ever built. I think, believe it or not, I think the 1973 Imperial was slightly longer than this. And then after that, it got a little smaller in 74. But still huge, of course. We're talking relative. So I have two versions of this. This one is the best version I have. This one has very nice, dark, lustrous paint. About as flawless of a Yatming as you are going to find. I mean, like I've told you already, these cars are almost impossible to find. You got to get them fresh from the blister, and even then, they have defects. I remember when my brother and I would go shopping for these cars, we'd find what we liked, and then we would pull every version of them off the rack, and then we'd start comparing them side by side, and we would choose the car that had the least amount of defects on it. That's how badly built these were. It's almost like at that factory in Hong Kong where they made these, they had no quality control whatsoever. The Japan-built Tomicas, they are definitely much higher quality, much better casting, and better quality control. But, the Yatming people, they gave this a fair effort. Let me show you this here a little closer. There is one casting defect on here, very small. This little divot right here. Other than that, the car is pretty much perfect. Very saggy rear wheels, though. I've noticed that when you hold the car in the air, you see what it does. And then once you place it on a surface, you see how much it droops in the back. That one in the back is even worse. In fact, it's so bad, the wheels don't even roll. It droops so bad. That was another issue with these cars. Whereas Tomica use a nice metal spring, they use a plastic spring, and it is just kind of crappy. It's not that good. But they did a nice job with this one. This one's got nice, really perfect chrome. No casting defects there. Paint's nice and bright. I actually, believe it or not, I'm not going to lie to you, when this came out of the blister, it had been in the blister so long, it actually felt kind of grungy. I actually buffed this with car wax. I kid you not, because I wanted it to look really good, because this is a really nice one. And I'm going to show you also a difference between the casting quality of, you see, look at, for example, the rear end with the tail lamps. Okay, look at the roof line, where the little opera window is. You see the little door handles. Yatming had a tendency, I noticed, to lay the paint on very thick too. Now compare that. This one's called this color's called rose quartz. Now look at those two side by side. You see the casting difference? You see how much more crisp and sharp the Tomica is? See the taillights on the Tomica versus the Yatming? There's also a Cadillac script. Don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's a Cadillac script written in that license plate surround. Again with the side. The Tomica has much more defined body side molding, much better defined door handles. There's also a Fleetwood script cast in there, which is remarkable. With the 1970s technology of the tooling that they could do that. You see the front end, see the difference? Casting quality so much more crisp on the Tomica. It also says Cadillac in the front license plate surround as well. You can see the huge difference between the two. All right. Same one, just not as nice. This one's got more defects. There's a big hunk of casting flash coming off the back of the trunk here. I already mentioned about the excessively droopy rear wheels, as you can see. Chrome is good. There's a blemish on the front window there. And this is all fresh in the blister, mind you. Understand, this has not been played with. This came right out of a blister pack. And this is what you got with the Yatmings. This has a couple paint bubbles on the roof too. This one has like no paint bubbles, which was impressive. I did like the burgundy interior. I thought that was a nice touch. There was a blue version of this too. It wasn't the same blue as this. It was a different, kind of a darker blue. That version is almost impossible to find. And if you do find one, it's usually beat up, paint flaking off in huge sheets, wheels worn out, bent, broken. You can imagine. It's just, you can't even find the blue one. It's almost impossible. You have to be careful with the doors too. They're a little shorter, so it's not quite so bad. But yeah, so that's the Yatming version. Now let's take a closer look at the beautiful Tomica version. I have two of these. This is another one where they were sold under the Pocket Cars brand in America. Overseas, they had their own box. And there's a lot of... Now, these are the two versions. Let me say this first. These are the two versions that we got in the U.S. The rose quartz and the beautiful blue in the back there. In Japan, they had other versions that were absolutely stunning. They had one that was all yellow. I've seen one that was all green. I've seen kind of like a champagne color, I'll say. And there was also, I can't even remember all the versions. There was a lot of them though. Over in Japan, you had a lot of different versions. Here in the U.S., we usually only got 2 or 3 versions of these cars. And yeah, Tomica did a beautiful job. That's that Japanese quality showing through. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's moving around like that. I wonder if I can get that guy to settle down there. But I love how their doors close. They just have that satisfying little snap. It's so smooth. The paint quality is just unbelievable. There's almost never any blemishes in their paint. Nice little suspension with their wheels. You notice this one doesn't droop like the Yatming does. Every detail just really shows up nicely. They do a good job, Tomica. And Tomica is still selling cars to this day here in the States as well. Let me show you the bottom. Fleetwood Brougham. Let's take a look at that lovely blue one now. This was the very first one I ever bought, way back in 1981. In my hometown of Fort Collins, Colorado, there was only one retailer that sold Tomicas, at least in the early days. It was this long defunct drug and mercantile company called Skaggs. They have been gone for decades. Later on, our KB toy store in the Foothills Mall began carrying them. But by then, these early castings were gone. But yeah, the blue one was my favorite. I loved it. I didn't even know that rose quartz one existed until later on. Yeah, I was always impressed with the quality of Tomica's cars. They're absolutely beautiful. That satisfying door snick, the nice details, the way the casting is so crisp. You'll notice how the roof line is nice and has a nice sharp edge, whereas on those Yatmings it was almost rounded. Really nicely done. And among my personal favorites. So there you have it. Their rendition of the Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham from 1975 or 1976, because they both those years they had the rectangular headlamps and a giant 500 cubic inch V8 under the hood, and just supremely comfortable, like riding in your living room. Wonderful cars. All right, so that'll be it for these. Hope you guys are enjoying this content. I'm actually really having a lot of fun making it. It's nice to show off the collection to people who appreciate it and everything. And I got a lot more. I got tons and tons of content to show you guys. So in the meantime, enjoy life. You guys have a good time, and I'll see you next time.